Welcome to your Monday, September 16th, 2024 meeting with Carly Fulton and Clare Fulton. We're going to chat about the market and the economy and the news and lots of fun stuff as well. So
just a technical thing. Did you turn off the speaker on this then?
Yes. Clare is on his own for the meeting next week. So now that we've changed everything, Claire's got to learn a whole new system as well. So my computer is muted here also.
Okay. Yeah. Just want to know what you guys did.
No, that's fair. So how was the weekend? Anyone do open houses that you want to report on? Sandeep, how was it?
4 people.
Okay, 4 people. What was the property?
A condo house.
Condo townhouse in Durham, Markham?
No, elsewhere.
Okay, so Scarborough, yeah. 4 people. Do they have agents or are they good? No agents, so that's good for you? Based on the science. So they were walking around and just came in through that. Okay, so that's a good thing for you.
Yeah. Everybody says, okay, it's good property. We'll bring offer. We'll let you see it.
Yeah. What's your strategy? Do you get their information as well, follow up with them after?
Yeah. Everybody shared their details there.
Yeah, that's good.
And one after another, somebody came for a condo and then the lady and a son said, I want to buy a condo in downtown.
Good.
Okay. In this market, anybody want to buy the condo?
Absolutely. It's a golden ticket. That's right. That's awesome. Are you holding offers on that one?
Yeah.
That's good. Anyone else? I think Dima in the group did something. No. Dima did Ajax, 2 sets of people each day. Otherwise, no showings, listed about 9 days ago. So that's interesting.
Yeah. Can I help you?
Sign of the market, maybe. Mm-hmm. Anyone else? What's the general energy out there?
Yeah.
Range is supposed to something.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. They just announced something with a 30-year amortization. They're going to open that up to more people.
Okay.
We'll go through that.
Okay, tell me about yourself, for you or for somebody else.
I have that as my first article. Otherwise, nothing, anything? Did you hear?
Okay, how many?
My general. Yeah.
I don't know if it's good weather or what, but
Yeah, everyone's like one last weekend of summer, maybe. Our pool's still open, so we're definitely, we think it's summer still.
Looking?
The feeling that I'm getting is a lot of questions, a lot of inquiries, a lot of like, what do I say? What do you think about this? But I haven't seen a lot of stuff like turn into offers and materialize. So it's just a lot of looking and talking and conversations. I don't know if you guys are seeing the same thing, but it's a little bit of what I'm seeing.
We had multiple offers on a condo, which I was like, no way.
Okay.
We had 2 offers on it. So I think if you price properly,
yes,
and you take the necessary steps.
And did you price very low? Like how low?
I did. Like I priced very competitive, not for a multiple offer situation. Sure. And you know what I noticed might be helpful to people if you are pricing a bit lower and people are thinking it's a bidding war. I sent messages out to let them know we are realistically priced. We're not expecting over asking. And that's when I got offers.
Yeah, I like that. Because you're really just setting a deadline for people to come in so they're not hemming and hawing and going to the next one.
I just like for price because I kept getting the call like, are you holding that? Are you no, you just need to price really aggressive.
Okay, that's good. That's a good feedback actually. And condo in Scarborough too? No, Pickering. Okay. That's good.
Just to repeat that there, that Aaron was saying that she emailed agents that show the property saying that we're not expecting over asking, bring all offers, right?
So it takes away that pressure, the scared.
That's still
sure.
That's happening because the prices have dropped significantly, in my opinion, but areas we're working.
Yeah, and they're over multiple offers. They don't want to compete. They're over that. Yeah, no, that's fair. Okay. Do you want to kick it off with some Chris Leader summary or go right into your stats?
I just want to talk about what we did last week a little bit.
Yeah, sure. That was a good session. Yeah.
Maybe just talk about you touched on there 30-year maybe touch on those 2 things announced just now.
Yeah, there was an announcement this morning that the Liberal government is going to expand 30-year amortizations to include first-time home buyers. So previously it was for new builds only. Now first-time buyers can do a 30-year amortization. The other thing that they did, though, is increase the cap of insured mortgages. Previously, it was $1 million. You couldn't do any less than 20% down. They increased that cap to $1.5 million. And this is going to start December 15th. So the goal is to help Canadians afford a first home. So they're going to allow first-time home buyers to participate as well as anyone buying new builds. That's going to try to intensify people to start digging and building more homes. So that was the goal with that one. Now they're just trying to capture more people in that 1.5 million range, knowing that our average price is about $1,070,000, right? So it didn't make sense to have insured mortgages under $1 million when it was already average price was over that, right?
I'm guessing that the 1.5 is for everybody, not just first time buyers.
It's for everybody. Yeah, the first time buyers applies for the 30-year amortization, but the cap is for everybody.
So what's 5% of 1.5 million? So congratulations, everybody. You can now get a 1.425 mortgage.
Yeah.
1.425
Yeah.
$1 million mortgage.
Yes. Well,
Yikes.
But I wonder if they're gonna spread it like 5% for the first 5, 10 for the
Oh,
next
maybe.
5, maybe 15 for the next 5.
yeah, the article I have doesn't outline how they're going to do it, but that would make sense.
I would think, 5 for the first 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, they already announced it for brand new first time buyers. Now they've introduced first time buyers across the board, resale and new, but they've also added 1.5 as being the criteria rather than $1 million.
Yeah. So it's supposed to help the monthly burden, but the reality is it's going to extend your interest over
so
time. You're
who's-
going to pay more interest. over
Who's
time. quick?
quick with the math there? What's $1.4 million at 5% or I don't know at interest rate today? What is it? $15 per 100,000? Is that per quarter point?
Yeah.
So it's 15 per 100,000. So 100,000 and $1.4 million would be what? 14? 14 times 15. $3,500 then a month. It's not too bad, I guess.
What's that?
I'm trying to think of the mortgage. What's $1.4?
3,500,
8,000 or 9,000. It's not possible.
or like 8,000.
Yeah, I'm just doing it off the top of my head here. So yeah, $9,000. Well,
So it'll help people get a mortgage, but it's not necessarily going to help with the-
so to qualify at 44% at $4,000, you got to make how much money? Yo. It's gonna help. It's gonna help some folks, but I don't know. It's
Yeah.
yeah.
Sitting on that $1.1 million fence, they will get.
Yeah.
And just so you know, they had it for new builds, right?
Mhm.
Like an insured mortgage for new builds, 30-year AM, first time buyers, but no builder would accept a 5% deposit. All builders wanted 10-20% down, so it was a nothing burger, as they said. So the government had to do something, and they had to extend it to the resales.
Yeah. But
So James tells you it's $8,142 a month.
That's huge.
And divide that by 44%, or even 40%. So 8,100 just divided by
100, not thousands.
8,100 divided by 0.4, $20,000. So you got to make over $250,000 just to qualify for that. So that's okay.
It's something.
It's better than a kick in the pants. Right?
It's better than nothing for sure. Yeah, like Sandeep says, anyone that was kind of on the borderline of like that 999 can now maybe compete a little bit and just push it over a little.
Good. All right, so want to go to stats?
Might as well. We're kind of on that topic.
Okay, so we got a couple things I want to forget. I want to just touch a little bit about what we talked last Wednesday on the Landlord Tenant Act. Were you going to talk about that? Or can we recoup?
No, you guys go for it. Yeah, it was a good meet. We had a really good outcome.
So we'll just we'll come back to that after do the stats, and also we got Rich Robbins coming up too, right?
Yep.
So active listings right now. So I don't know. Overall, I just felt like Nelson. I just felt it was a little quiet this weekend. But I think yesterday we didn't have any offers typed or offers registered.
You'd have a couple offers typed, but
Yeah.
we had 20 Friday, Saturday.
Sorry, 20.
We had about 20 offers typed.
Yeah. So I don't know. Last 3 days. So again, so I don't know, was it nice weather or what it was out there? So it seems to have sort of backed off a little bit. Or I wonder if after reducing that rate, people are expecting another rate reduction. Because that seems to be the first thing I said. Everybody said, oh, there's a 0.25% drop in the rates last week. And then everybody said, well, maybe there should be another one. I don't know. Well, and then, okay, so I'll get the stats and I'll read other stuff there. So we're sitting right now about 25,000. So we went down a little bit at the end of the month, about 23,000 and a bit. Now we're back up to 25,099. Of that, there's 11,000 are condos, 14,000 are freeholds. Of the owner-occupied properties, this sort of changes a little bit here, but the owner-occupied properties are For condominiums, 36% of the properties for sale are owner occupied, and 10% of the freehold properties are owner occupied, meaning so it's other stuff, other properties are not. So let's go back to the condominiums. So a lot of people are selling the properties because what they can't afford them, number one. Number two, there's a whole bunch of, I haven't read the actual stat, but apparently there's a lot of new finished product that's come to the market. So condominiums have been completed and registered, and people have bought them. Now they're putting them back on the market. Has anybody seen that so far?
Yes.
Brand new condos for sale. And so a lot of that's happening, and a lot of people just can't rent it for enough income to cover the expenses. So that's what they're doing there. That's probably why they're bailing it. If we compare the sales from the sales themselves, we've got about 2,000 sales last year, about 2,200. So sales themselves are minus 7% from September last year. The condominiums themselves are down 12%, and freeholds are down 5%. So it's down a little bit there. Unfortunately, last month the sales were less than 5,000. And that was probably the second slowest month of the year. I think January is also about 4,000 something. I think September is also going to be less than 5,000. That's the numbers that are shaking out I see right now, which sounds alarming, except if you look at September last year, it was less than 5,000 as well. So we're sort of getting on the same sort of fall that we had last year. I want to get condo apartments because that sort of hits the news a little bit there. I've read all kinds of stuff about condos this weekend. But if you look at the condo apartments themselves, the sales for about last year were 324 for the first 15 days, and for this year is 239. So condo sales are down 26% from last year. Condo sales themselves, just condos by themselves, not townhouses, not other stuff there. So who's got condos for sale right now? And what's happening there? Am I saying what everybody already knows? Somebody back there saying, yes, I'm telling the truth, and I'm confused why the sellers don't want to reduce the price. Not enough.
They're probably getting confidence that rates are going down.
Is it still sold? Right. What about other people there? I'm seeing the guy back there. So you got a condominium that's not selling. You've got zero going on. What's the seller doesn't want to sell, or what's happening?
They just dropped the price. They dropped again.
Yeah. Okay. But is there motivation high to sell, or
Their financial pressure.
financial pressure? Yeah. Okay. So we're seeing a lot of people that are having financial problems there, but they don't want to let go, right?
They're trying to break even or not lose anything, right? So
You've got people leaving the country, and they're still sort of got the impression that the market is strong in spite of what I said, and they're just about to go down to the States.
Yeah.
Make sure that
So people just don't want to lose money. They'll lose $1,000 a month for the next 6 months, but they won't reduce the price by 10 grand.
yeah,
Right?
I think they think that the interest rate, the next one, is going to be the thing that breaks it. But like we've already seen 2 or 3, and it's
On the lease side, we've got almost 14,000 active leases. 6,000 are freehold, almost 7,800 are condominium, and the lease sales themselves, condominiums are up 13%, and freeholds are up 10%. Sorry, freeholds are down 10%. So the condominium rentals are actually up 13% from last year.
Yeah.
So that's interesting, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying the price, I'm taking units, right? I'm not sure about the price. Are lease prices coming down as well?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, we have landlords that are doing renewals that are actually reducing the rent just to keep the tenants happy.
You're not comparing the growth of them with the interest rate. You're just calculating quarter here, quarter there, but we had a 4% increase, so that's a huge increase.
It's good. I don't know if this is true or not. These are all bad numbers. I don't like giving bad numbers, but if you're going to have sellers who want to show bad numbers, I guess they've got to get price reductions. But if you go to Broker Bay, go to analytics. Broker Bay for this month, they're telling me that showings all across Toronto are down 38% for the last week.
Down 46 for the year.
That doesn't seem right to me.
All across Canada.
Just GTA. Whoever's on Broker Bay. All right, the brokers on GTA, right? So minus 38%. I don't trust that number. I have to do that number myself. So. I don't believe everything you read, right?
Number showing.
Doesn't seem right.
It kind of makes sense, no?
I don't think so. Yeah, cool.
Okay, well, you're chatting about rent. So there is definitely a slowdown of rental prices. Decline since May, had hit a record in May. Now it's been declining ever since. This is all over Canada, not just GTA. 5 of Canada's 6 largest markets saw rents fall in August alone. The only exception was Edmonton. That was an increase. Toronto and Vancouver saw significant rent declines, with an average rent falling about 7% and 6% respectively. So a little bit more in Toronto than Vancouver. And studio units and 3 bedrooms led the pack in purpose-built rental growth, with rises of 10 and 11. So it's interesting that the 3 bedroom as well as the studios both saw a little bit of growth. But all across, a 3 bedroom apartment rented the highest for all across 6 markets. So definitely more supply, which Claire just mentioned as well. More rental units are being built. I heard that a lot of pre-con new development condos, instead of building condo apartments, are trying to do purpose-built rentals instead. But in order to do that, they have to find partners in equity, and nobody's willing to give them the equity to do that yet. So a lot of these developers are trying to do purpose-built rentals, but they're still missing a big chunk of equity to be able to do it. But they're trying to convert that. They're saying decreased demand a little bit to changes in immigration and a little bit of a softening in the labor market. So I did see a stat that our unemployment rate rose in August to about 6.6%. The economy overall added about 22,000 jobs, but entirely driven by part-time employment instead of full-time employment. So this is going to impact a lot of people as well. Everyone's excited that interest rates are going down, but the backlash of that, which Claire has always mentioned, be careful what you wish for, because it could lead to a loss in jobs, and then you're really not going to be able to afford anything, right? So we have to be really careful with that. That's right. Yeah. Which they've also ordered federal government jobs to go back to the office. I saw you had a whole article about that, so I won't go too much in detail, but they are mandating now they have to go back to work for 3 days a week of the 5, and they are not happy about that. So apparently they got rid of a lot of office space. Now they're trying to struggle to find space for these people to come in for 3 days a week, and they're going to be coming into like shared environments and not necessarily their own desk. So they're going to have a lot of work, but that was on the federal government employment.
Did you read that part? You guys into politics?
I'm going to say yes.
I don't know. So the Ontario government, so the feds, okay, in Ottawa's all pretty much federal workers, right? Government workers there. So they're mandating them to go back to the office 3 days a week. And what they're saying here is because a lot of the local businesses that rely on downtown workers to go downtown and have their lunch and do whatever they normally do, they're suffering as well because people aren't showing up. Sure. That was part of the decision to force everybody back. So what the unions decide to do, we're going to show you, we're going to boycott all local restaurants and stores just to show the government that we're in charge.
Everything has a consequence in life, right? Like
just what I just said. So the union said, "Oh, you can't tell us what to do. We're not going to shop local." And they told other people, "Don't shop local when you go back to work."
Wow.
And then the guy on the radio says, he had to remind everybody, the guy that's serving you lunch that you're not going to go to, he's the one that's paying your salary through his taxes, right? So it's a tough one, that one. Well, I don't know. Just be aware of what's going on, and just be self-aware that everything has a purpose. I mean, that's it. Right?
Purpose and a consequence, right? No, it's true. We've talked a lot about developers going under. Last week, I had a whole list of people, and it continues to grow every week. But I didn't realize this. So a lot of these people that are going under completely, and your clients are about to lose their deposits, if they sign an agreement after January 1st, 2018, there is deposit protection, but it's not a lot. So homes priced $600,000 or less, only $60,000 of your deposit is protected. So we know if you're putting 20% down, it's about half your deposit. It's not protected, right? Homes priced over $600,000, 10% of the sale price is protected up to a maximum of $100,000. So we'll see how this shakes out when these builders finally start deciding that they're not going to go forward. And I think that's going to come soon. They're probably going to do whatever they can to try to sell. Is that how you know it for deposit protection as well? So that's a bit scary, right?
Yeah, but the problem too is condominiums are okay because the deposit money that your clients give a condominium is sitting in the lawyer's trust account for condominiums, right?
Okay.
Freeholds, builder uses that money to build the house.
I think carry on only, I think covers up to 60%.
Well, they cover up to $60,000. Yeah. But anyway, so if you've got a client that's thinking, hey, I'm thinking about buying new, you want them to buy resale, you might remind them, by the way, your deposit isn't covered if you're buying freehold, right?
And they still haven't launched the 10-day cooling period yet for freehold, have they?
And we're having issues too, just so you know, on pre-construction. Anybody's done pre-construction condominiums, anybody's done those knows what I'm talking about already. But the builders themselves are up to tricks again, and they're not paying us, and they're coming up with all these different excuses. Well, you got to send us an invoice. Well, we sent you an invoice 4 years ago. We got to send us another one. We did send you another one. We got to send us another one.
Some of them want it mailed. Can you mail us the invoice? That's another.
Then the best one we got was from Belleville.
Yep.
Builder says, yes, we owe you commission, but because of the economic conditions, we're not going to pay you.
What? Yeah.
Yes, I'm not kidding. That's what the response was. Which they're basically saying, come after me, sue me.
Yeah, that was the builder. So,
join the list.
Yeah. Yeah, we know you owe you money, but we're not going to pay you because of economics.
Yeah. So if you're an agent selling pre-con, don't start calculating your commission as part of your regular cash flow. Let this be a bonus when it comes, because there may be a fight depending on the builder. Some builders are really good, granted, but a lot are not. We will always fight it, and eventually you will get it. You are owed it, but don't start calculating that as part of your regular cash flow to pay for your mortgage or your rent or your bills. Let that be a bonus, and I would continue with the resale stuff because it's much more regulated and you know you're going to get paid.
And we're having issues, in particular with the small town builders.
Yes, that's true.
St. Catharines, Belleville, Peterborough. I've got
Hamilton.
3 builders that refuse to pay us.
Yeah.
So it's too late now. Anyways, it was done like 3-4 years ago. So.
Yeah. Oh, it's scary. So we've done a bunch of rate cuts, but have they actually impacted prices yet? I'm already seeing some shake. No, they have not. Bank of Canada says that the move is not having an immediate impact on the Canadian housing market. Reaction has so far been largely muted. Early reports on August home sales showed only small increases from July in most markets. And it's, clearly will take deeper rate cuts to stimulate demand in a material way. I'm still not even convinced that reducing interest rates is still going to do what it needs to do, because you're going to have many other impacts like job loss and just general affordability. The biggest trend this year was a rise in listings, right? So we know that there's a lot of listings right now, over 25,000. So that's a part of it. But still, some homeowners are in distress from these, high interest rates. So the lowering of it's not helping them right now. Balance between supply and demand is easing, which is going to tip the favor of buyers in Toronto, especially in the condo market. But in essence, prices in most markets have stayed essentially flat. Things are standing still. Potential buyers are still hunkered down, waiting for a better deal, either on price or interest rates or both. Yeah, the sales peaked in March 2021. Close to 140,000 homes in Canada were resold, and we haven't seen those numbers since. You guys seen the same thing? Like that rate, did you get questions about it? Did anything happen? Did you get more showings, or everything's kind of the same? Kind of the same, right? You got one showing, so a little bump, right? But it's not enough to really make a significant impact. Yeah, so what does need to happen? How are we going to get prices down? More points? You think that's going to do it?
It's got to come down to low inflation.
I think rates.
Okay, so I have good news.
Okay, good.
All right.
Speaking of inflation,
I have good news. So we
Good.
dropped the rate last week, right? Quarter point. Tomorrow they're going to announce the CPI. CPI is the Consumer Price Index. They're telling everybody that they expect the Consumer Price Index to be 2.1. Right now it's 2.5. The goal of the government was 2. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're saying that tomorrow, likely all economists are saying likely they're going to announce a 2.1, which would mean that the next rate reduction would likely be 0.5 point. That's what everybody's guessing. In October. And what we find, Brand's not here, but what we'll find here is a lot of banks and stuff do not wait till October for the rate discount. They wait for the CPI to come out, and they start reducing rates before the actual announcement. So that's good news, and watch that to be out there. I think that's going to happen. There's no reason why it shouldn't. Part of the reason why it's gone down 2.1 is because the cost of gas has gone down, and the commodities themselves have gone up. That's one of the reasons that's helping us. And also part of the deal there, believe it or not, part of the 2.1% of cost of living includes housing costs, which includes mortgage payments, which actually went down because the rates went down. So everything's sort of connected at the same time. So that's good news. That's positive news. So the rate's coming down, maybe half a point. Lots of inventory out there. You've got lots of buyers have been hanging around. We cannot survive. Toronto's population is too large to be going on less than 5,000 sales a month. It should be around 7 or 8, 9. Right. So that's what I think. So it's going to be positive news from here. So you've got listings right now. That's good, but they still need to be priced right. But I think that's all good news. The other good news is the stock market on Friday hit the highest amount of the TSX, with the highest amount it's been in history. So it's actually 23,500. If you don't follow, that's fine. But that is good news. That means that people's investments are doing very strong. RSP investments are doing strong. Has anybody else checked their stock market? Has anybody noticed what's going on? Has anybody checked their own holdings? Do they do that? No. Still with?
Still down.
Wow.
But when you see more like this, green as opposed to red,
Right.
that's encouraging.
Yeah, okay. So you're an accountant. You're a financial type person, right? So that's encouraging. Shows the difference between young guys and old guys, right? Young guys should be losing because you should be investing in high risk stocks. Old guys should be investing in more secure stocks and more GICs and more stuff like that. So it should reflect. So what you just said should be correct. You've got 50 years to recover. Old guys don't.
Invest in Bitcoin.
Invest in Bitcoin. Didn't Donald Trump says his son or something starting? I don't know. It's no time. So that's good news then, right? Other good news, just remember for first time buyers, they talked about that getting a 3-year amortization mortgage. They also have up to $60,000 that they can use from their RSPs for the first time home buyers plan. That's times 2. So if you got husband and wife or whatever it might be, they got $60,000 each that could take money of the RSPs to put for a down payment. That's good news too. You have to pay it back in 15 years.
Other good news, other than the fact that our productivity is the worst it's ever been in 30 years, Canada has also ranked as one of the best countries to live in the world still. So there's a ranking based on adventure, agility, social power, religious freedom, friendliness. There's a particular report that does this every year. Canada is 4th on the report, so we're just behind a little bit. US is number 3. Number 1, of course, is Switzerland, and number 2 was Japan. So still, overall, in the world, Canada is still a good place to be. We have some challenges, but overall, relative to our other people around the world, Canada's still not doing that bad. Definitely not Japan or Switzerland, but Canada is 4th. Yeah, so Switzerland, Japan, US, Canada, and then they've got all the rankings from then on. Don't know, actually. I didn't look that far. I was excited that we were number 4.
Gonna take a bit of a break here and just clear your head a little bit. So I always go to Rico and find who got fined for doing what, right? You guys, anybody else do that? So
It's hard because you don't want to do it and then learn when you get the fine.
This person here got fined $25,000. The fines are getting bigger and bigger, right? They fined $25,000 fine for this agent on a lease. So what the tenant did, and I don't want you guys doing these things. So the agent decided that they're going to do a friend, or I don't know if it's a friend, a customer a favor, and they're going to rent the place out for them. So they advertised for the rent. They got some person to apply for the rent. The agent didn't bother doing the due diligence to find out about check stubs and try to vote jobs or do a little, they're acting like a property manager, but they really weren't doing anything. They also decided to get paid under the table because they're buddies, and the owner paid the agent $2,000 commission without the brokerage. So they paid direct, right? So you might think, hey, I got a favor, I'll help you rent a place, wherever else. So turns out that the tenant was a bum and didn't after the first and last months went down, they never bothered paying rent again. So they went to the landlord sued everybody, and then they found out that all this stuff going on, that they never checked out things, they never were paid through the brokerage, never checked the tenant, $25,000 fine, plus whatever they're going to get civil. So be careful. This one here also got fined $25,000. What they did, we're not going to do this. This might be more of a mortgage broker's job. I don't know why the agent got involved, but the agent created a gift letter for their buyer, $50,000 from a person that the buyer never knew, and they presented the gift letter to the bank as if they have $50,000 cash as a gift letter, and they never did. It was all fake, and the guy got caught. He got fined $25,000. Mm-hmm. Anybody know what I'm talking about? I mean, it's
like when someone gifts you money towards your down payment.
Right. So,
you have to do a gift letter.
They do, when somebody gifts a down payment, they get a gift letter, right? But there was never any gift. So anyway, so they got caught too. So just a couple little things there. We don't do those things.
We're perfect here. I was.
The institutions.
Well, as I said, it's a mortgage broker's done, not the agent job. So why did the agent get involved? So maybe they're dual license. I don't know what they're doing. So.
This was a fun article on defects on the sale of a home and what we need to disclose. So Tressa introduced some new rules in December. We've been going through those, and it's interesting because OREA sort of now they basically do forms for us, right? They set up templates based on their interpretation of the legislation, and they created this form called Form 299 Seller Disclosure Latent Defects, and we include this form in our packages as well. This is a form that we don't ask mandatory for all your listings, except if you have something to disclose. So this article was somebody sort of picking apart this form, and they don't agree with OREA's interpretation of it. They're saying the Form 299 is so completely wrong that it is bound to get agents, buyers, and sellers who are entangled in needless litigation. So the fact that this form is called Seller Disclosure Latent Defect is already a little incorrect, because we're not supposed to be disclosing latent defects. We're disclosing things that sort of have happened in the past or are a little bit hidden, but it doesn't mean you have to disclose every single thing that's happened, right? So it's exposing everybody to litigation. They're saying this is not supported by Ontario law, which was established by the Ontario Court of Appeal in 1979. It's saying sellers are only required to disclose defects if they are aware of them, if they are hidden, if they render the house structurally unsound, if they are so serious as to make the house unfit for habitation, and if the defects actually exist. None of those things that I mentioned are actually on that form as a standard item on the Form 299. So in creating the form, it appears that OREA has misinterpreted the regulation under Tressa, which came into effect last year. The regulation says that the broker must disclose facts to any interested parties if a seller has a legal obligation to disclose those facts. So based on a previous case, sellers have no obligation to disclose defects or potential defects unless they meet all of the exceptions in the court's decision, which I just mentioned above. And that's generally how we are training and advising people as well. Nelson, you agree? So if it's something that you can't see that's known, you do need to disclose it, but it's not something that you need to go through the form and fill out every single thing. It is going to be exposed to more litigation, and it's the same reason why we don't make that form mandatory. But it's interesting to me finally to see somebody sort of picking apart the forms, because there's other forms that we don't agree with. CCR is complicated. We're missing a Form 219 still that we've been waiting for. So it felt like a bit of validation to have somebody sort of look at this form and pick it apart, because OREA creates these templates for us, but they may not be the be all end all.
What is the reason we do the home inspection?
So what's the question?
What is the reason that we do the home inspection?
That's fair. But even a home inspection might not find things that are structurally unsound or not looking at foundation. That's still, if you know of something that needs to be disclosed, you would still disclose it. But the point is, you're not disclosing everything that could be blatant obvious in an inspection or to a buyer.
If you don't have anything, you don't see something, the home inspector can't see something.
Yeah.
How are you going to disclose anything?
Yeah.
So make sure you cover yourself. So this is Bob Aaron. Bob Aaron is a lawyer, and he's got lots of money. He can fight all he wants. But our job here is to make sure that we are abiding by the Trust in Real Estate Act, which says that we have to disclose any defects that we're aware of, latent defects in particular, in writing. And it has to be clear and distinct. This is Teresa, right?
Yeah.
So you're going to get that form, and you say, well, there's nothing to disclose. That's great. Just cross it off and say nothing to disclose and put it in your file. Put it somewhere, at least you ask the question, you've got yourself covered. Latent defect is something that that you can't not see. Even a home inspector won't be able to see it. So if a home inspector inspects a property in the fall, and we know that the house has, let's say Toronto, the house has floods every spring because of the whatever the thing there, but they sell the house on purpose in the fall. The builder's not going to find that latent defect, but the owner knows it's a latent defect. He's obliged to disclose it. But if he doesn't disclose it, then you don't know either. So if he discloses it to you and says, don't disclose it, then you have a problem, right?
Yeah.
So just cover yourself and just take that form. Don't just say, well, we said that you don't need it. No, you still need it, but just put something on there saying refuse or not applicable or something. Just cover yourself.
Yeah. Want to summarize last week's tenant meeting?
Yeah. So let's go over the tenant stuff. And just somebody asked me this question this morning. I don't know how they do it. Power sales. Anybody doing power sales yet? I'm just curious on a power sale. According to this guy here, in September 10th, 2023, there were 126 power sales on the Toronto Real Estate Board. And as of September the 8th, there are now 443. So it's an increase of 251%. Have you seen that? I haven't seen that.
I hadn't checked our search in a while. So we have a shared search with the brokerage. Everybody can check. I'll go and take a look at what it says.
And then somebody came to me and says, well, they want a client that wants to look for power sales. And the question is, why do they want to look at power sales? Well, what would the answer be? Why would somebody want to buy a power sale?
They want a deal.
Because they think they can get it cheaper. They think they can get it foreclosure. They think they can get it for $1. But what do we know about power sales here, especially on MLS?
They sell for market value.
They sell for market value. There's no discount. I haven't seen a discount on a power sale forever.
No, the lender still wants to retain as much as they can, right? So I get that question a lot. Where can I find distressed sales and foreclosures? And those are very US type based languages. And I'd say, ask your client what their budget is and where they're looking to purchase, and we'll create parameters that has power of sales and everything else that meets their parameters, because there's no deals to be had in our market.
I remember if it was Tommy Hopkins or Floyd Wicklund or Mike Ferry, they said to him, Mr. Buyer, no problem. When I find the perfect deal, like the great power sale, when I find a deal that's a steal, you're going to be the second to know. Why is that? Because I'm going to be the first. Right? When you think about it, if you're going to find the deal that's $400,000 underpriced, buy it yourself.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it's true.
And plus you're competing, right? So everybody in the world knows that the property's out there. So there's not one guy who's going to be able to steal the property. It's going to be 4 guys trying to steal the property. It's going to jack the price up again. But they're there. Mm-hmm. The other thing that's out there is expired listings, and something we're not allowed to identify expired listings through MLS, but it's a business that's out there if you door knock or you farm an area. Yeah, tenants. So we had that session last week for the tenants. A lot of people thought that was good. I
got really good feedback from it. I had somebody say they watched it like 3 or 4 times just to make sure they got all the.
It's a little scary though, right?
It's very scary, yes.
If you're not, I don't know. What was the lesson that she taught? The bottom line lesson.
Don't try to be a property manager. Get them involved. Everybody's trying to make up these documents when it comes to dealing with cash for keys. When you sell a property, to make sure that you've done everything correctly, and that's not our role, and we should get professional paralegal that deals with those things involved. That was my takeaway.
Mm-hmm. So our job is realtors to try to get a tenant. Our job is not even to screen the tenants. It should be the landlord's job to screen tenants. Otherwise, you're taking responsibility. Your job is just to get a tenant, and the landlord approves or doesn't approve.
That's right. We provide the information on a platter, they review it, right?
But I understand what's going on. I mean, you got a mom and pop buyer and seller, mom and pop sellers and investors, and they want you to help them. So I understand completely.
Yeah.
But when it comes time to evict people or to fill out N12s, all these types of things, it's you got to make sure you know exactly what you're doing. You can't make any mistakes. Come closing date, if you made a mistake on that N12 and the tenant decides not to move out because there's a mistake, they're going to look at you and make you liable for the mistake that you shouldn't be liable for. Mm-hmm. We have a situation I'm aware of where somebody didn't tell the truth. I want to say lie. Didn't tell the truth and gave an N12 to a tenant. And
For the purposes of them moving into it,
for the
family member.
Well, N12 says the family's moving in, or buyer's moving in, or somebody's moving in. Nobody moved in, and the tenant knew this, and then it followed up, and the tenant pay attention to it, and the tenant went to landlord tenant board, and they fined the landlord for giving the N12 in bad faith.
Yep.
And they got fined.
Yep. And they're also going to pay for their moving costs and any other damages they incurred and some months of rent.
Yeah. So is the recording on?
I can pause it.
So they got this. But they said, well, you said other things like, if you're going to give if you're going to do cash for keys, just don't give them cash and get a receipt. You got to have an agreement what this money's for and who it includes. And the example she gave was it was a husband and wife were the tenants. They agreed to pay cash for keys to do it, and then I think they gave cash. And then the husband, who wasn't on the cash, said, "I'm not signing nothing. I'm not moving." So they did the deal with the wife, but never the husband, and they're both on the lease. So they kept the money and they stayed there too. That's what they said, right?
Had to pay another 15 grand. Yeah, 15 grand.
So I had to pay another 15 grand to get rid of the husband. So here's an agent trying to do the right thing, not understanding that there's a law here. That's what Nelson's saying here. We're not paralegals, right? We don't fully understand what's going on.
It's just not worth the risk. Good session though, for sure. Do you like those type of sessions with like the lawyers and experts? I hear good feedback on that kind of thing. So we'll do more of that.
I disagreed. I don't know. And they also talk about indemnification. So if you're on the selling side and somebody's buying it and somebody's telling you that the buyer's going to move in and you have to give an N12 on behalf of the buyer who's not your client, right? You want to put indemnification in there saying that if the buyer lies and doesn't move in and the tenant comes back to the landlord, to the current owner, then the buyer's going to indemnify them any losses.
Yeah. So we have those clauses. If you need clauses like that, just talk to Nelson or I. We have them in our database. And the other thing people didn't realize is in the standard APS, there's already a clause that says the seller is going to give vacant possession. So that's there already. So if you don't want vacant possession or you want to take further steps to ensure it, you don't just rely on that clause, but it is in there already built in.
I was showing it out last weekend, and there were, I guess, 8 or 9 tenants in each room.
Mm-hmm.
And the agent was there. The agent told my client that, oh no, it's very easy to just get rid of all of them. We're gonna just put a clause, and if they don't move, we give you $20,000. Stuff like that.
Yeah. It has red flags all over it. The situation was she showed a house, there was 8 to 9 tenants in that house, and the agent says, don't worry, we can get rid of them, no problem, or we'll put in a clause that you'll get $20,000 if they don't. So that's a $20,000 eviction problem you have right there. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's a tough one, yeah. Because basically they just reduce the price by $20,000 and you get the tenants.
Yeah, like it's not vacant possession, and yeah.
Just
That's what they have no intentions to get rid of the tenants. They're just going to knock this.
$8,000 have 8, and people were living in a hallway. It was like
It's really sad.
crazy.
Yeah, it's sad.
Mm-hmm.
Want to go through press leader stuff? Still you. The only thing I have, there's a little bit of a scam thing going on with our websites. Morale was my first instance of it, so I didn't pick up on it until I got like 100 of them over the weekend to our website. So anyone reaching out to you saying, hi, I'm so-and-so's assistant. In the example, they use the name Carly. Carly would like to purchase a home in your area. Please send us a WhatsApp message. So there are 2 triggers where I'm someone's assistant and please send us a WhatsApp message. And so by sending a WhatsApp, they'll probably ask you for some information and probably get you to sign in on something. But those were 2 triggers for me. You were the first one that flagged it. And I said, sounds spammy, but now I know for sure because I got 100 requests through the website. So I've blocked it on our website, but make sure on your personal stuff, if you get that kind of message, I'm someone's assistant, send me a message on WhatsApp, it's most likely some sort of scam thing. So I'd ignore it.
They are coming from realtor.ca, which is the American number, and they inquire for information, but they are calling you with information, and they go after another agent.
Yes. Yeah. So it must be some sort of phishing cycle thing. So just be aware of that. Yeah.
How's everybody with Realm now?
The only thing I hear is that it's slow. You missed Stratus, yeah. I don't mind it, but
Creating 2 lists for one client, it doesn't let you do multiple searches for one.
you should be able to. I can take a look at it with you. I have multiple searches for one person.
Like my clients have done it. For me to do it on my own, it's not allowed.
Interesting. Okay, we take a look. There should be able to. Yeah, because it wouldn't make sense to be able just to do one. Yeah. Good feedback though. Yeah, I just hear that it's slow. That's the biggest piece of feedback I get.
So Treb announced today, they say they've got Realm Training Module 4. This is September the 16th. This came out. Become a real Realm Pro on the new online training modules. So it's online training modules, flexible, convenient modules allow you to learn at your own pace, interactive elements step by step. One is saving and sharing. Learn how to confidently use Realm in this self-paced module. Get to know the basics, including accessing and customizing Realm, adding, managing your client, saving searches, and sharing listings. Module 2, understand the listing details, save time, streamline your listing workflow in Realm, learn about likes and favorite tools, how to save an email listing, how to use the chat feature to send a listing. Module 3, contacts, collaboration, and coming soon, add edit. So there's lots of courses on there still as we speak that they're doing, new courses they've got, so you can actually go in there and see if you can streamline things. There's another thing that you can talk about that.
This thing, right?
That thing you showed?
Yeah. Push the orange button. No?
Okay, we're waiting for that. Business planning is still there. We're still ready to do, like, September is the time that we tell everybody to do your business plan, get yourself ready, right? A lot of people don't wait till January. A lot of people don't do it at all. So you got to start from there. And this is what Chris was talking about today. Sort of talking about your database, talking about people you're talking to, building that database, talking to contractors or other people that can help you do the business, right? Your team of experts, things like that, and your goal setting, get things going like that. That's what he's talking about. Your listings. Look at your buyer's presentations. Look at your seller presentations. Powerful connections, be friendly, yeah, all kinds of things. He on his coaching site, he had lots of free things as well, free stats, free reports, and free scripts and whatnot.
Yeah, we'll send that out. We got the link to that, so we'll do a broadcast to everybody today.
And then I wanted to go.
I'll show you this in the meantime on the screen. I hadn't looked at it before. This is not like a super new thing. I think maybe just new this year. It's called ListTrack, and it's accessible through Realm. And it's replaced the old Manage My Profile part of Realtor.ca, where you could go in for your listings and see where all the views are coming from and how many hits and driving directions and favorites. So ListTrack has replaced that. And like I said, you can access it through Realm. And it looks like this. It's pretty cool. It looks professional. They've sort of branded it differently. It doesn't have that red sort of thing. It's more like generic. And then it's got your picture at the bottom. But this is a report that you could either send a link or PDF and send it right to your client. This is for your clients who are saying, why am I not getting any offers? Why are we not getting any showings? Am I getting any exposure? Can we do a boosted ad? Are you going to do an open house? Like, when things are not selling. So this is good information to show those sellers who are wondering about their views and hits. So you can see this one had 824 views, 32 shares, 8 favorites. It even shows you the websites, whether it was a desktop or an app, and where people are looking at it from. The other cool thing is you can actually schedule this report to be sent weekly to your seller client. So if there's somebody that's really anxious and they're really analytical and they want to know those details, you can schedule it so every week they get an updated report. And it looks like you've crafted it yourself. It's same thing with our Hub 21. It looks like you've spent effort to create this for them. I think it's just a good way to keep in touch with your seller, especially for your analytical people. You have to be careful. If they're not analytical, they could pick this apart too much and so just be careful with it. But I thought it's a good automatic tool. It's available for free within your Treb and your Realm access. So I thought it was cool that we just share it. You could try click on it, see what it says. I may have you log in though, so it's okay. So all your listings would be listed here. You can do it for every single listing. And I think it shows you like a chart, and you can, in that green drop down, change it to like 30 days or a whole year, or you can even customize a date range. So maybe you want to prove at this price, you got this amount of views, at this new price, we got this. So it's just more information to be able to give to your seller clients. That's it. Thanks, Cindy.
And then, so next week we've got,
This week we have Rich Robbins. So we're not going to do our own training session Wednesday. We're just going to do Rich Robbins. He's in Ajax and Burlington, which is really nice. So if you're on the west side and you don't want to go all the way to Durham, Ajax is September 18th, 9:30 to noon, and Burlington is the following Tuesday, the 24th. Caitlin sent out an email to everybody today with it. So this is for Rich Robbins. He's going to go over some things in the Canadian real estate. He's of course going to sell his like full-on show, which is really good, but still in that 3 hours, you're going to get a lot of great tips and do some networking as well. So we'll be there as well. And then our whole back to school program is going to kickstart after we get back from Ottawa conference. So in October, we'll do a whole 6-week program that Caitlin's going to be going through. And we highly recommend everybody come to that.
Anybody have any properties you want to talk about? No? Did we do that already?
No, we didn't. No listing.
No?
We will all see them online, I guess.
Anybody have a buyer looking for something? Who's got a buyer?
Woohoo! Yeah, list to last, but now we're happy to have buyers. I think right now it's all right. Yeah, I don't think anything else online. So otherwise, Claire will be hosting the meeting by herself next week. Be patient with him. We've got all this new tech. Maybe he'll revert to the easy Zoom way, but otherwise, we will be away at Canadian conference and we'll be back the week after.
Yeah, there's a handful of people going there, 15 or so.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's always a good time. I mean, the people haven't been to a convention before. It's always fun. It's not too late. You can they're still selling tickets.
Yeah, I'm still selling. It's in Ottawa. It's super close. So we're taking the train.
Some people are taking the train there. So if you want to take a weekend off,
Yep. I think the biggest value. I had an agent say, "Well, why would I go? It's just in Ottawa. Like I'd rather go like somewhere more special," which is true. But the whole point of conference is to meet people all over Canada. And the main point is for referral business. So you can meet other people in other provinces. So it's not necessarily about the destination we go to. It's not even really, to be honest, about the sessions that we learn that they put on, but it's just the opportunity to meet and rub shoulders with other people, figure out what they're doing in Calgary, what's working for them. And honestly, it's for your referral business to be able to share that as well. All right, that's it. Okay, have a good week and we'll see you next week. Take care.